This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 248 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
All right, Nicole, we've got to talk about it. The mass exodus of real estate. That's what we've got for racket number one. We've got some lead conversion myths for racket number two, and then we can't get away in left, middle, right from this FTX topic. So we've got all that coming up here. Let's start with the BAM article. The mass exodus of the real estate industry has begun. So layoffs of real estate professionals are already happening from the industry's largest companies. Agents are also leaving in greater numbers, and NAR's historical data shows this is not a new trend. So we're actually going to talk about in past markets where the market was down, how many agents actually left. So let's start with the Chris Smith tweet. In the real estate industry, and you can show this tweet, Bobby, 33 companies have laid off at least 50 people. 24 companies have laid off at least 100 people. 13 companies have laid off at least 250 people. And then 4 companies have laid off at least 1,000 people. Winter isn't coming. Winter is here. This obviously is a combination of prop tech companies, Redfin, Zillow, but then also traditional brokerages like Compass, Open Doors, obviously in the mix. So there's a whole bunch of these companies. So let's start with the layoffs. Then we'll go to, there's some Patrick Bet David takes in here, and then we'll get into those NAR stats. Okay, so in terms of the layoffs, I've been kind of out in front saying this a lot, Nicole. We've talked about it a bunch, where you need to cut the fat and start investing in income producing roles
Activities.
within
Yeah.
activities roles within
Yep.
your organization. Even if you're like a solo agent, like how can I cut the fat? No matter what perspective you're coming from in this business, how can I really put the dollars that I'm going to invest to work for me? And that might be like, the comp plans that you're currently working on. What got you here the last 2 years isn't necessarily going to get you where you need to go in 2023. It might be doing what some of these companies are doing, which is just letting
Layoff.
people go.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that
you see it with Meta too. How many did Meta lay off?
11
11,000 or
11,000 in a
11,000 each?
day.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge. Yeah.
So these companies aren't waiting for, I mean, let's be clear, 2023 is the recession year. Now that midterms are over, the media is going to be allowed to talk about the recession, which has really been here for the last 6 to 9 months, depending on how you want to look at it. If you want to look at it traditionally, okay, we already hit recession. If you want to look at it with this new scope, then okay, 2023 is going to be the recession year. Either way, these companies are reacting to the market shifts as if we are in a recession, not waiting for it to happen in 2023. By the way, agents made way more in commissions this year than I think you might realize. I think TF put up this stat where it's like more commission dollars than even 2021, which might be, or no, I'm sorry, more than 2019, which that shouldn't be surprising. But the market, as much as it's shifted, has still been really good when you look at Q1
Really good.
and
Yeah.
Q2.
Mhm.
So I think not getting blinded by that. If your bank account's looking good right now, don't get blind to the fact that you need to make changes so that you're not stuck in 2023. Okay, so those are the layoffs. Now, Patrick Bet David, Valuetainment. I don't know if you're listening or if you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up if you know PBD, if you like his content and you like his pods. He's been really vocal about real estate being a bad bet right now. He's like, I mean, he's saying, Nicole, don't buy a house. And if you do make an offer on a house, make an offer as if it's 2023. And the number he uses is if it's $1 million house, make an offer at $780,000 right now. He's saying real estate's going to fall off this cliff.
Hmm.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
But what he talked about here in the spam article is the refi business being down 90%. That obviously impacts
Obviously.
the entire industry. We know that.
Yeah.
He also references Yahoo Finance article that quotes an employee at the greatest Las Vegas Association of Realtors. They were averaging about 300 new members every single month.
Yep.
This month, though, she estimated 120. So down from 300 new members to 120 makes sense. You need to have a runway You need to have a ramp when you're getting into real estate.
Mhm.
And less people have a ramp right now than they did in 2020, 2021 when they were getting all that stimulus money.
Yeah.
2022, 2023, you don't have the runway to get into the business. It's more important to get into the right brokerage, to the right team, around the right people than it was in 2020,
For
2021.
sure.
Meanwhile, this Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtor employee says she's been processing about 30 agent withdrawals a day.
A day.
So they're onboarding 120 new a month, but that doesn't mean there isn't people exiting out the back door. 30 a
Yeah.
day. What is that? 30 times that's 900 a month?
No, 30.
What
Yeah, I guess that would be about that.
what's
Yeah.
30 times 30? 900? Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that'd be 900 a month that are leaving and they're only adding 120. This is Las Vegas Association. Love to know in the comments if
I don't
your
know, man. It sounds
association
like they
is
needed to if they're scrubbing that many people every month. I mean, holy shit.
they needed to
It sounds like the agents needed to be scrubbed is what my
maybe.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were only adding 300 a month. Now they're losing 900 a month. Las Vegas is a big city, so I don't know 300 a month. I don't know if that's a big number, small number.
I don't
Love to
either.
love to know in the comments if this is happening in your association right now where you're losing more per month than you're gaining. Las Vegas is one of the leading indicators for home price appreciation in the US housing market. We saw in 2008, obviously in the recent buying frenzy, and right now in Las Vegas, these agents are feeling the pain with mortgage purchase applications down 38% to a year ago. Okay, so I agree. These indicators could be something that's coming in 2023 for the rest of the market. We know that right now, Phoenix and Vegas are feeling it in a big way, not so much as the Northeast or other
Right.
parts of the country. Okay, not a new thing for the real estate industry. So this is where we're going to get into this NARS historic report. From 1980 to 1981, the number of association members dropped by 66,283. It dropped another 77,587 from 81 to 82 before it started rising again. Okay. The decline from 2007 to 2012 brings the number of members down from 1.265 million to under a million,
Mhm.
999,000 plus. The difference is 265,000 members during that period of
It's so
time.
funny, and you and I were jumping in. I jumped in
We,
in
yeah,
10.
I got in 12. So I got in at the
Yeah.
very end of that.
Mhm.
And we're likely to see a period of time that is opposite of what we saw the last 2 or 3 years, where more agents are getting out of
Out.
the business than
Yep,
getting in.
for sure.
If you're getting in, who are you surrounding yourself with? What voices are you listening to? There's so many voices, especially online right now. On
Yeah.
last week's walkthrough, Zach Faust did he was a guest and he said something that's very insightful. So many agents right now are trying to speak to other agents and they've been in the business 1 year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
And they sold 20, 30, 40 homes. What are they talking about? What are
Right.
you talking about? An agent with 50 homes sold when you're trying to educate other agents? What are the experts you're listening to if you're getting into this business right now? How much money do you have in the bank and who are you surrounding yourself with? I'd
Mhm.
encourage you to be joining the right team, the right brokerage, and having money in the bank if you're starting this industry right now. It's a great opportunity to get in. When people are going the other way, like Warren Buffett says, when everybody's going one way, I want to go the other way, right?
Right.
And I'm paraphrasing there a little bit, but that's what you should be doing and how you should be thinking about your career in real estate if you're getting into the market right now. If you're getting into it as a career right now, there's huge upside, huge opportunity.
For
You can
sure.
build a decade for yourself if you're around the right people and if you have a
Or
runway.
if you got in the last, 2, 3 years and you are maybe a single agent because it was so easy, maybe it's the time for you to pivot too or, like, join a team or get to the right brokerage so that you do have a career
Yeah.
and not just
What voices
you know
have you been listening to if you're a single agent and your
yeah,
numbers aren't where they if your numbers aren't on track for Q1 and Q2 to be where you want them to be, what activities are you doing every single day? You got to have self accountability. And then who are you listening to? So this isn't a racket. This is going to happen in
mhm.
2023 where
Well,
the
it's
numbers plummet.
happening. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it
happening.
is happening. To Lawrence Young, PBD, and Christmas Point, it is happening. It is
Yep.
here. Make moves as if we're in the middle of the winter, not as if winter is coming. So make these moves quick. Okay, there's an Inman article, racket number 2, that I want to get to. where it talks about these lead conversion myths and facts. It's really important for all of us as we look for more listings. But before we get to that, speaking of looking for more listings, you got to check out
Mhm.
PropStream. Nicole, you and I have had multiple conversations about how not only can we get more listings, but how we can get more investments, whether they're flips or other investments in this market. How can we take advantage? And so we looked at a whole bunch of these different data solution softwares, and PropStream we found was not only the best bang for the buck, but it had the best information. So you can try PropStream with the BAM link down below. You can make all these different smart lists where you can curate a list of who's got full equity in their house, who owns 50% of the house, who's owned the home for over 20 years in your market. And then you can go market to those individuals for as little as 10 cents a contact. Check out PropStream with the link down below. Prop it, right, Nicole? Prop it
Yep,
like
prop it like
it's
it's hot. Is
there
that what
you
you're
go.
waiting for? Sorry.
I was
Prop it
waiting
like
for
it's
you to
hot. Sorry.
jump in
I'm
there and
here. I'm here.
add a little color to that.
I'm here. Yep.
All right.
We're propping it.
All right, this is a sponsored Inman post. Usually we wouldn't
Does that make
cover
you
a spot.
nervous?
Well, usually we wouldn't cover a sponsored. Usually the sponsored posts aren't that great. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
let's just be
Well,
frank
this
here.
I think this what's really nice about this article though is it's stimulating conversation, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
I love
these
this
are
one. So
yeah, we have to have conversations about it, and I think it's important.
regardless of the fact that it's sponsored, we wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Uh, Olivia Sundstrom from Real Geeks, and Real Geeks is a CRM, so they've got a lot of data. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. The conversation that they
Mhm.
put forward here. So, which do you believe? Lead conversion myths and facts. Think you know the difference? You might be surprised at what lead gen beliefs are the real deal and which are old wives' tales. All old wives' tales. I don't know. Is that politically correct to know? Could you say
Uh,
that?
as of right now, but just give it a few
Okay.
more months, and
We
it
might have just
may
gotten wives' tales
you may
canceled.
you may you may just have yes,
Get on
you questioned
Twitter.
it.
Get on Twitter and ask if that is an appropriate use of the English
Uh-oh.
language. Wives' tales. Okay. Myth number one: fresh leads are better than old leads. Going back and talking about that agent who's been in the business 1, 2, 3 years who wants to now all of a sudden educate other agents. Oh, you should only get all your business off Instagram. Baloney. You should have 10 freaking lead pillars plus to generate leads from different ways, different sources in your community, not just IG. And one of these big myths I find with agents who are far less experienced than ones who have been through 2012, who have been through even the 80s, and when you look all the way back at some of these slumps in the market, is they know a fresh lead is just as good as an old lead. Because listen, a fresh lead right now might be 2 or 3 years out,
Right.
while the old lead might be blossoming because they're 2 or 3 years old and they're ready to take action. Right? How many times has it been, Nicole, in your career where you talk to somebody initially and they didn't do a deal, they didn't transact in real estate, they were just information gathering
Yep.
in the beginning of their lead process, and then they did something 2 or 3 years down the road?
Yeah, I think most of my leads are probably like that. Yeah.
Because most leads, listen, if somebody's thinking about selling their house right now and say they're a boomer, they're thinking about downsizing, they may meet you at an open house right now, but they may not be ready to transact, put their house on the market for 2 years, because guess what? They don't have to do anything. Their
Right.
house is paid off, they're retired, but oh, their kids are not just out of college yet. So they want to do a couple more Thanksgivings at the house that they grew up in before they move on, right?
Right.
Or they're naive to think that, oh, my kids they just graduated. They're gonna be
They
they're gonna
wanna
be
come they're gonna
leaving the
come
nest.
back. Well, or they're gonna be coming
Or they're
back
yeah,
too. I mean,
they're
a
naive to
lot of people are
both.
keeping a lot of people are keeping their homes because they have to keep the room for the kid, or I mean, these poor kids that are 22 years old graduating from college and their parents already are thinking about grandkids too.
And when you don't have to do something, it also gives you the luxury of like moving slower.
Right. Right.
Right? So
Yep.
there's a lot of situations you can look at. Maybe you get a new lead, they're very interested in buying their first home on the flip side, but then they're faced with a decision, haven't found a house yet, interest rates keep rising, and I just renewed my lease for 12 months,
Right.
right?
Yep.
And now they're locked in. They can't really do anything for the next 12 months. So in this article it says, in other words, your new lead could be an old lead in someone else's book. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true.
Mhm.
Oftentimes when you get a lead, they're in 8 to 10 other people's databases in your community. And it comes down to, are you following up enough times? Are you making a big enough impact? Are you adding enough value to that lead for you to be the one that they choose to reach back out to,
Right.
even though that they're getting marketed to 8 or 10 different ways? So that's myth number one. This is if you phrase it like this, fresh leads are better than old leads, then that would be a complete racket.
Total racket.
Myth number two, some leads, see, they go myths here. We go rackets. That's
Well,
that's
it's
a
so it's
big
good they
difference
didn't
in
steal it.
language.
They didn't steal it. They didn't steal it yet. They didn't rip us off yet.
Well, they could have and then sourced us. Okay. They can always source us. As we do with all of these articles, we source them down in the show notes below if you're interested in digging into. Myth number two, some leads and or lead sources are no good. Are leads ever no good?
They're always good.
This is the
They're always good.
silliest thing. The
Mhm.
leads are bad. Blaming leads. There's
Le
never a
Yep.
bad lead if someone's interested in your community, interested in your town, interested in your county, whether it's buying, selling, or investing. They've shown some interest. Your job as a leader in that space is to lead them, is to show them the information that they're lacking and create that relationship. The more listen, the agents that do the most business have the most relationships, have the most conversations. It's that simple. So that's a racket. Myth number
Total racket.
three, calling frequently is a bad method to keep in touch. While ringing up someone's phone seems like it may just provoke a lead to turn away from the business. Okay, that is, let's pause. That's a story you're telling yourself in your own head
Of
because the
course.
stats actually don't back that up. So it actually may produce the opposite effect. Research shows that calling a lead 6 or more times, we know the average agent reaches out 2 to 3 times to the average lead. So calling a lead 6 or more times connects you with over 90% of your contacts, and 91% of leads who are contacted 6 or more times also mentioned that they would work with that specific agent. Stop quitting on a lead after 2 or 3 times. Stop telling yourself that they don't want you to keep reaching out. Think about how much you convert with sales professionals who reach out to you multiple times. I have so many instances in my life where I'm just pushing it off, pushing it off, pushing it off, but I haven't told them to stop reaching out to me because I'm going to take action
Right.
when I get around to it. I'm
Right.
busy.
Right.
Like, let's just face
Yep.
it. We're busy people.
Yeah.
Keep reaching out. So you got to be, especially in this market, you have got to assert yourself. You've got to add value. You've got to keep following up. Listen, if they haven't told you to stop, keep doing it.
Well, and again, it kind of leads into what we were talking about last year. I mean, last episode too, especially in this market. You know, something that maybe used to just take you 1 hour will take you three. So use those
Yeah, the
three
Gary Keller
hours.
example.
Yeah, I mean, use the 3 hours to your advantage here. Touch the people that you haven't. We just had an agent on our team, what, maybe a couple weeks ago, saying that he was following up with these. They were expired calls, right?
Yeah.
For I think he said 2 years, and then this past year was the 3rd year, and, like,
He
8
quit
of
on
them
them.
listed. He quit, and 8 of them listed in that 3rd year, and
Not
that's what's saying here too, it's a 36-month cycle, so
Not only did those 8 leads list this year, they all sold and
they all
closed.
sold. Yeah.
Those
Yep.
were those were not only 8 sales, but 8 past clients that you lose when you don't
Mhm.
follow up. That's
Mhm.
8 referral opportunities, 8 chances to get more buyers at open houses and direct contacts through those listings. When you don't follow up, you're letting them down because you likely, as a professional agent listening to this pod, could have made them more money. And you also are hurting the lifetime value of your business by
Right.
not following up. Dramatic mistake for that agent. Love that he shared the fact
Yep.
with the entire team, so everybody could learn from that. Because everybody needs that reminder. Everybody needs a reminder of like, hey, follow up. Where's the money is? All right.
Right.
All right. Left, middle, right. These are
We're
the
ready?
headlines of politics that every agent, real estate entrepreneur needs to know right now for their business. What are they?
So, we have 2 articles here pretty much chatting about the same thing, from The Block and Realtor Magazine. FTX spent $74 million on real estate in the Bahamas this year. And then with you want me to do both at the same time
Yeah,
here?
just read them both because they tie into
Okay.
each other.
And then Real Estate Magazine, after collapse, does cryptocurrency still hold promise for real
Yeah.
estate?
So FTX was this. You must have heard about this at some point this week, Nicole.
Of
This
course.
FTX scandal. Okay,
Yes.
all right,
Yep.
good. Because I'm
Yep.
like, I know every time the crypto stuff comes up, and I am
I
zero.
glaze over. I heard, and again, this may be rumors. Was Tom Brady affiliated with this in some
Yeah.
way?
Oh, so many big names. Tom
Okay.
Brady was
Okay.
affiliated. There was huge, huge,
Yeah.
huge names
Okay.
affiliated with this FTX.
Yeah.
I don't have them all top of the head, but you could Google. I mean, Tom Brady was just one of many. I mean,
Yeah.
they had their FTX had their name on the Miami Heat stadium, multiple stadiums. I mean, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
And I am a 0% crypto expert. Okay, I've said that
Yeah.
in the past, and
I'm probably negative you.
I've no. I'm watching it from afar because there's value in the technology of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, not all of them, certain ones, and this whole NFT thing that Gary Vee likes to talk about. So I don't want to be the old guy who doesn't want to learn new technology. I want to look from afar, but I'm not an expert. Okay, so FTX spent basically FTX was this platform where you could go and buy cryptocurrency and store your cryptocurrency. So think of it as like the Robinhood for stocks, or
Right.
the Fidelity for your stock portfolio. Okay, so FTX spent the past year buying up residential property around its headquarters in the Bahamas. They were HQ'd in the Bahamas. FTX is known for its unique communal setup on the Caribbean island where teammates work and live side by side. All right, so this crypto exchange, which is now bankrupt, and that's where you probably heard about them this week. They went bankrupt by basically taking, like, if you went and bought Bitcoin, Nicole, on
Yep.
FTX, they went and took your money and they funneled it into this other business that they had, which is now also bankrupt, which was basically, a venture capital fund. Okay.
Right.
So both of these companies are bankrupt, and they were stealing money from people and spending it whichever way they wanted to do. Like, Coinbase, they're regulated and they're public traded companies. So if you put a dollar in, they've got to hold that dollar in Bitcoin. You put a dollar in Bitcoin, they got to hold it. This company wasn't doing it. They were holding like 10% of people's money, and the rest of it spent. Basically, these scam artists, this is like Bernie Madoff type of stuff here that these FTX guys did. Basically, they took this money and they went on a $74 million spending spree. Sam Bankman-Fried is the guy that ran FTX on real estate in the Bahamas. The point I want to make about it is a friendly reminder to everybody who tells you that, like, oh, traditional real estate, it is such a bad investment. People are going to be buying homes on the metaverse someday and all this kind of crap. And yeah, that has happened and it will happen in the future. But even the biggest proponent, the biggest scam artists in the crypto space, what do they do the minute they get somebody else's money that this guy in particular stole? What does anybody do the minute they get money, Nicole?
Spend it.
Yeah, on real estate.
Yeah.
He didn't go on a spending spree in the metaverse. He went on a spending spree buying up real estate in the Bahamas. This is what, no matter what happens, when people get money, they're going to buy something real that they can live in, that they can work in, that they can Airbnb, that they can do stuff in, no matter what. And you can name all of these entrepreneurs that said, oh, I would never buy real estate. They're all living in fancy, whether they're renting that apartment, they're
Well,
all
they probably have
utilizing
multiple
multiple stops.
fancy. Yeah.
They're all utilizing real estate. So everybody that wants to tell you in 2023, 2024, the Fed, whoever, how bad real estate is, just remind yourself the first thing anybody does when they get money, they go and buy some of it. And that is never, ever going to go away unless you can stop rain, wind, snow, sleet, hurricanes from happening. People are going to need shelter. Nobody wants to sleep on the curb. And real estate is always going to be a viable asset class, probably one of the most viable asset classes forever and always. The second article that you talk about is after collapses, cryptocurrency still hold promise for real estate. The stat that blew me away in here, Nicole, that I had to just bring to everybody's attention
Mhm.
is that millennials, I'm trying to find it now. It's in here somewhere. And maybe it was in a different article. I apologize. Okay, no, here it is. While crypto transactions remain relatively uncommon, 12% of millennial homebuyers sold cryptocurrency to fund their down payments in 2021, according to Redfin data. That's mind-blowing. So the millennials are going to be the people that you're doing deals with 2, 3, 4, 5 times over the course of your career if you're going to be in it for 10, 20 years, right? And the
Mhm.
fact that 12% of millennial homebuyers last year sold crypto to fund their down payment means that, hey, there are generations that believe in this cryptocurrency. It's not going anywhere. I got caught up in the craze the last couple of years of just buying some. I just like I didn't buy a lot. I didn't go crazy. I didn't do anything dramatic here. I bought a little, maybe like 15, $20,000 worth of crypto, Bitcoin and the other one, ETH specifically. But just because I want to learn, I want to know about
Right.
it because I don't believe it's going anywhere. I believe it is going to have a huge, huge crash over the next couple of years, like we're already
So do you still
seeing.
own it, or did you sell yours? Have you sold
No,
yours?
I'm just holding it because
Hanging
I
on
mean,
to it? You don't need the
yeah,
money?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, no, no. I'm just hanging on to it like this, like stocks that have all, crapped the bed as well. And I'm
Mhm.
continuing to take a little bit of time and try to be educated because I do not want to be that person that said, "Oh, I'll never have a cell phone," and now, they have iPhone 14 or 16,
Right.
whatever it's up to,
Mhm.
right?
And then they have the watch that it yeah,
Yeah, they've got to watch.
all of it.
My wife just said for Christmas she wants to watch.
My husband actually said the same thing.
You know why?
Well, he doesn't wanna
He
we
needs it. He needs it. He's a school teacher because he can't have his phone out in his hand. But if you
well,
have the
no, that's not
watch,
why he wants it. He has a friend that actually it saved his life because it was monitoring
really?
his heart. Oh, yeah, it was monitoring his heart, and he was in was
Okay,
that
so that's like
defib or whatever, and now he's like, "Nicole, I need this life-saving device." So,
my Aura ring, which I will not be wearing next week on vacation because when I drink, my
yeah, your
heart
heart rate
rate
goes
goes
up.
up, and I don't even want to see the data.
I feel
So,
like it's good. That means you're burning the calorie.
and I don't want to lose it. So I'm not bringing it. And by the way, this brings us to next week. The
Yes.
real word's taking a break next week, Thanksgiving week.
How do you feel
Nicole, what
about it?
what are you thankful for? I want to know.
What am I thankful for? I'm not
Yeah.
thankful for anything this moment except this
Wow.
water next
Wow.
to me because I have a tickle in my throat, but
What a
we're doing this.
miserable comment that is.
No, I'm thankful for really we're doing this like this. I feel like I'm just thankful for everything. Um, I mean, you gotta I don't I yeah. I
All right. Well,
mean, you thankful for me, Byron?
I'm certainly thankful for you.
Yeah.
And 248 episodes. We're gonna take a break next week. We're gonna come back 249. We're gonna do split screen like this, and then
Yep.
250. We're gonna be
We're
together in
together.
person. So
We're together.
so we're using the Thanksgiving excuse to take a week off so we can line up 250 to be in person. Uh, although, listen, stay subscribed to BAM because if there's breaking news, I will break it, even if I've got to do it from vacation. Um, if you gave the example of Zillow buys Domino's in the comments, do you think Zillow has any chance of buying Domino's in the next week, like the
Hmm.
pizza place? That's what you
That
that's what you
wasn't
had
me, that
said.
was Bobby.
Oh, that was
Bobby.
Bobby. Okay, I
Bobby
I
said
should have known better. You're right.
Zillow's buying
You
Pizza
wouldn't say
Hut.
something that silly. That so
No.
Bobby, our video producer, said something like that. Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Really appreciate you guys. Thankful for everybody who's been following along
For
this
sure,
pod. Love
very
to
much so.
as we lead up to 250, love to know how long you've been following the pod below. Consider subscribing to BAM. Nicole, appreciate you. We'll see you
Appreciate
guys next week. Keep it
keep
real.
it real.
No,
See you
we won't
guys.
see you next week. We'll see you the week
2
after.
weeks.